Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. Cabinet approves the Sustainable Food Production Program, which seeks to attract young persons and women to the agriculture industry. The National Security Minister announces the extension of the Civilian Conservation Corps program, and the month of October is Calypso History Month. Thank you for joining us. Cabinet has given approval to the Sustainable Food Production Program, which seeks to attract young persons and women to the agriculture industry. Speaking at a post-cabinet media briefing, the weekly post-cabinet media briefing, Food Production Minister, the Honorable Devant Maharaj, says the program is a strategic intervention targeted at increasing the agriculture sector's input towards the GDP, while at the same time developing food security.
A new sustainable food production program targeting young persons and women has been given a thumbs up by Cabinet. Food Production Minister Devant Maharaj says development and implementation of this will take place soon. He made the announcement at this week's post-cabinet media briefing, where he describes it as a strategic intervention to increase food security.
The medium-term policy framework of the Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago mandates the Ministry of Food Production to increase the sector's contribution to the GDP from as low of 0.4% to 3% by 2014. One of the strategies cited for achieving this goal is increased participation of young persons in agricultural production. It should be noted that young people would be attracted to the sector as it becomes more and more business-oriented, utilizes modern technology and ensures guaranteed markets for production.
The initiative will utilize technologies associated with hydroponics and aquaponics, a system that combines traditional aquaculture with raising fish in tanks. The minister anticipates through this, Trinidad and Tobago can achieve a significant reduction in poverty.
Through ADB, a young farmer can establish an aquaponic plant for 4,000 or less. Cabinet has also been advised that via the Poverty Reduction Unit of the Ministry of People and Social Development, clients can qualify for grants up to $5,000 to establish agricultural-oriented businesses out of the Rise Up program.
It's expected that the project will make use of free lands across the East-West corridor, maximizing smaller spaces for both the growing of crops and fish rearing. He adds that farmers also stand to benefit in higher yields of produce as part of this breakthrough program through technology shared with farmers.
Technology would be shared with farmers and other individuals, the ability to increase their harvest by up to 400%. We have seen the technology being implemented where from a single stick of cassava, yields have gone from 6 pounds to 25 pounds. So it means that these 2-acre blocks that we are giving out to ex-colony workers and so on, as well as those existing farmers throughout Trinidad and Tobago, would be able to increase their harvest with the existing acreages in a significant manner, thereby keeping in line with the government's strategic objective of reducing our food import bill and lowering our food inflation.
The project will be managed by an interministerial task force comprising of members from the Food Production Ministry, National Security, the Ministry of the People and Social Development, the Ministry of Planning and the Agricultural Development Bank. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
National Security Minister, the Honorable Jack Warner, has announced the extension of the Civilian Conservation Corps program for an additional 2 years. The program, which offers skills and education training through the exposure of discipline to ensure that they become productive.
Government will develop and expand the Civilian Conservation Corps program over the next 2 years. Minister of National Security Jack Warner, in making the announcement, says the renewed program will seek to employ members of the regiment for training participants, as well as hire former graduates as assistants for the program.
What the Cabinet agreed this morning was to extend the program and to do so by appointing 153 former members of the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force. They will act as a permanent staff of the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force Reserves and they'll be assigned to the Civilian Conservation Corps program. And moreover too, they'll also employ 110 former trainees of the program. So those persons have been trained before and who did very, very well, exceptionally well. 110 of them would be employed to act as assistant team commanders.
The minister also announced that the age for enrollment into the program has also been reviewed.
The age for the program originally was 18 to 25. The age has now been reduced 16 to 25. And as such, I want to also add that this program, which began several years ago, to date has trained 4,856 persons, and what they have learned in this program, they have learned such things as, of course, how to protect the environment. They have gotten different types of educations and skills training, and a large percentage of them who, through this program, receive training afterwards.
Minister Warner says consultations with Tertiary Education Minister Fazal Karim have commenced for the feasibility of an increase in stipends.
This program, I should say, is not only for people who are at risk, but the program will go throughout Trinidad and Tobago and not only be confined to those high-risk areas. Last but not least, the Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training and I will meet to review the proposal for an increase in the stipend and to see the kind of allowances that we should pay.
Since the program's reintroduction in 2002, over 4,856 persons have participated. The program's main objective is the promotion of attitudinal and behavioral changes, stimulated through the catalyst of discipline and a structured environment, while at the same time offering education and skills training. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
Tuesday, November 13, 2012 has been declared a public holiday in observance of the Hindu festival of Diwali. The announcement was made by Minister of Communications, the Honorable Jamal Mohammed, who announced it at the weekly Post Cabinet press briefing. The holiday was agreed to after consultations with members of the Hindu faith.
Cabinet today agreed that the public holiday for Diwali 2012 will be on Tuesday, the 13th of November. Remember that Diwali this year will be celebrated with a public holiday on Tuesday, the 13th of November, and this decision was reached after consultation with several Hindu organizations, including, but not only, the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha of Trinidad and Tobago Incorporated, the Shiva Dharam Sabha of Trinidad and Tobago Incorporated, the Divine Life Society, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, and the Kabir Panth Association of Trinidad and Tobago. So Diwali will be celebrated with a public holiday on Tuesday, the 13th of November, 2012.
News 4 continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The month of October is Calypso History Month. As in previous years, the emphasis is highlighting the Calypso art form as a vehicle for further development of Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning to everybody. I sure by now will you recognize me, but just in case all you didn't know, well, I am the mighty Lingo. I know all you don't think that I was sleepwalking, but I was trying to listen to Black Sage talking. And while he was talking very briefly, give him a round of applause for that lovely history.
The audiovisual room at Nalis came alive with sweet songs of Calypso and extempo. It's the Children Calypso Workshop under the theme, Know Your Culture. The workshop is geared towards children between the ages of 8 and 15 years who had an opportunity to experience live performances from some of this country's finest Calypsonians.
What is Calypso? I'm sure you don't really know. I don't think you know what is really Calypso, because the words that we rhyme and sing is only half the thing. I could show you that Calypso is more than a work of art.
The students were also educated about the history of the art form Calypso, which originated from African and European roots. TUCO's North Zone Chairman Mark John, also known as the Calypsonian Contender, told the students about its roots, which lay in the arrival of enslaved Africans, who, not being allowed to speak to each other, communicated through song.
We say by Calypsos our stories are told, you know, and I am one who believe that if, you know, the Calypso has to live on, because they say Calypso, you know, dying, but I know Calypso can't die. When we look at the inputs of the youths, you know, like we have Aaron Duncan, and when you watch the things that Aaron Duncan is doing, and other youngsters, you know, you have Black Stallin's grandson, Kevin Callis, who was also part, and this is the point I'm making. We, people like myself, and Black Sage and Lingo and Luther and the seniors, we feel it is necessary to educate the youngsters, the students, so that you could know how to make a calypso.
He says it developed to become both a dance and cultural record of events at first, in single-tone style, with implicit meanings and a spicy flavor. The roots of Calypso are no doubt diverse.
And later on, we would really hope that a number of you could come out to be like, you know, the Kurt Allen and you know, because people like Marshall Montano started here.
In 1978 saw the Calypso Monarch competition being won by a woman for the first time. Calypso Rose signaled the entry of many more women on the Calypso stage.
How much do you know about extempo? Nice. Well, right. So his extempo is, anyhow, I don't want to go into that. I'll leave that to a special gentleman here to take you into that aspect of it.
The students were told that over the years, Calypso art form has been transformed and presented in various categories, the major ones being political commentary, social commentary, humorous, soca, reggae soca, chutney soca, and nation building. The students were then treated to performances from some of the extempo icons, Black Sage, Lingo, and many others.
I admire your ambition, you would like to sing, but you will never be a Calypso king. To reach such heights without blemish or spot, you must study Shakespeare, Milton, and Scott. But you will not inculcate such thoughts divine, so I guess I am casting pearls before swine. You really have good ambition, but poor education. Santimanity. And it will come down through the ages. You had singers like Executor, Roaring Lion. You had Short Pants, Gypsy Relator. And now today, we have Lingo, Contender, myself.
Joseph Lopez, News 4.
Sport is up right after the break. Communities throughout Trinidad and Tobago are set to benefit from a massive drive to construct and improve existing sport and recreational facilities in Trinidad and Tobago. This was revealed during the presentation of the 2012-2013 budget. During a recent visit to the Ministry of Sport, Wayne Cunningham sat down with the Honorable Anil Roberts, who outlined some of the plans for those facilities.
We are poised to see a huge increase in sporting facilities to accommodate various disciplines. In our post-budget discussion with the Honorable Anil Roberts, Sports Minister, he detailed some of those plans as well as his vision for some of these facilities.
Maintenance key. We have a maintenance master plan. Now, let's start from the beginning. The policy of this government is take the sport to the people first of all. Don't build no big Taruba thing and waste 1.1 billion. Spend money where the people are. So you see 94 recreational grounds, another 60 coming. We want to do about 100 a year. 25-meter pools starting in December. We might do 3 or 4 this year, but then next year I want to do 10 so that by 2015, 2016 we could make swimming in primary schools for children 8 years and under, compulsory and free, so that every child in Trinidad and Tobago will be water competent. We're not saying you have to be a George Bovell, but when you go by Maracas or Tyrico Bay, or you go down Manzanilla, you don't get into a riptide and drown and lose your life unnecessarily. Too many people that happens to because you're not comfortable in water.
A source has already been identified to provide personnel for the maintenance of new and existing arenas.
So on the local level, we have the live sport program now that it's kicking, anti-crime initiative and giving opportunities, a 2-year program for young male who not really impressed with maths and English and so on, but we want to pull them in the system. They love sport. We get them in, we teach them life skills, get them to be disciplined and identify their talent and channel them into areas, get them up to a certain level, and then link up with the National Skills Program, CCC, welding, private sector, and most importantly, the best of the best in certain communities will form a company, and the upgraded recreational grounds and pavilion, they'll be given a contract to maintain it. The best of the best in the lifeboat will become entrepreneurs. So we are making sustainable jobs in that industry. Then we move up to the bigger facilities. Already you're seeing an upgrade plan for Hazy Crawford, Dwight York, Larry Gomes, Manny Ramsden. You have seen them. They deteriorated very badly. It's going to be costly. And when we spend that money, we don't want it like for the Caribbean Games where the PNM said they spent 90 million. When you look around, the toilets in the stadium, in the Gene Pay, in a atrocious mess, the plumbing, the electrical, you know, when the PNM did it, the Hazy Crawford roof somehow grew by 270 square meters and things. Not on that, but when we finish doing it, we want it to last.
All forms of preservation will be used in the upkeep of the facilities. The minister gave an example.
The Oval Cricket recently, brilliant crowds with the 50th anniversary and so on. But then people complain to me the next morning because it's back-to-back games. You come in and you're sitting down and rubbish all over the place. You cannot do that. This is big business. These people are paying for the tickets. You have to have a system in place, not only to clean down, scrub down, make sure your seats are well taken care of, not rusting, not breaking, making sure that patrons respect the place. Don't walk on seat and break chair and so on. They're expensive. So all of these things in the master plan to maintain have to be implemented so that we don't just keep wasting money.
Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
We'll be right back after this. Most people tend to specialize in one field. William Bannister is quite the opposite. He is a Calypsonian, panist, and artist. William says he wants to share his love of art with the country, and his exhibition, My Love Story, was on display at Nales, Port of Spain.
Art should reflect, celebrate, and commemorate life. That's the view of quintessential Renaissance man William Bannister. The Calypsonian panist and artist took us through 50 years of this country's cultural, social, and sporting history with an exhibition of his paintings held at the Rotunda of Nales's Port of Spain branch. Titled My Love Story, Bannister explains that the exhibition is a gift to all of those who encouraged him and helped him improve over the years.
My love story is this, the people is my love story. All who helped me is the love in my story. You know, you guys are what? The love in my story is the people. And things I love to do, obviously.
Visitors to the exhibition will be treated to peeks of some Trinbago yesterdays. The exhibition is part of the Trinbago Unified Calypsonians organization's celebration of its month of Calypso, usually held in October. However, instead of just displaying his art through song, Bannister, who goes by the Calypso sobriquet Dr. Wilby, says he wanted to chronicle the Trinidad and Tobago he loves through acrylic and canvas. Chief among his loves is pan music, and much of his work is dedicated to the instrument. This piece is called Panology. Bannister says he attempted to convey what goes into the making of the national instrument.
It evolved from the tambour bamboo right into the dustbin and the biscuit drum. Right? It evolved, well, first of all, was the skin drum, and then tried to bang the skin drum. Then we get the tambour bamboo. We never stop as people, you know. our history. Then we went into the sinking, the grooving. You know, this is about making the panels, all about the burning.
But his love for Calypso was also very evident in the lifelike portraits he made of several of his colleagues in song. And Tuco was on hand to lend support to the proud artist in its midst. Member of Tuco's North Zone executive, Mark John, or The Contender, spoke about how Bannister's work served as an important record of the art form's greats and the appreciation of those who found themselves immortalized on canvas.
Everybody reacted positively. They feel that they were captured. You know, they were properly captured by Dr. Wilby, so they were excited, you know what I'm saying?
The exhibition My Love Story is on display at Nalis, Port of Spain and ends on October 20th. Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 Report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you so much for joining us.